Now we call to order the January 4th to the February 4th special meeting of the JCLD board. And Julie, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, Susan Kiefer,
Present.
Kevin Keating,
Here.
Marta Caranci, here, Marissa Shepherd.
Down there. She's muted. We have, yeah,
All right,
she's
we
here,
got you.
but we have to ask her to.
Yeah.
in general.
Patty Jensen, here.
You could unmute Marissa. I'll just leave it that way if you want. Okay, start with the land acknowledge. Jackson County Library Services acknowledges that its libraries are located within the traditional lands of the Cow Creek Band of Umpqua Tribe of Indians and the Modoc Nation, as well as the Shasta, Takelma, and Latgawa people, whose descendants are now identified as members of the Confederated Tribes of Siletz Indians and the Confederated Tribes of Grand Bronx. We take this moment to recognize the indigenous people whose traditional lands are where residents of Jackson County live today. JCLS is committed to fostering understanding, deep respect, and honor for indigenous people. And we encourage you to learn more about the land you reside on. For more information, go to jcls.org/land. So we are going to go into executive session. Do I read the script now? Okay. Jackson County Library District will now meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192.6602F to consider information or records that are exempt by law from public inspection. No decision may be made in executive session. At the end of today's executive session, the board will return to open session and welcome the audience back into the room, after which the board may or may not take action or make a decision. Representatives of the news media and designated staff will be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are asked to leave the meeting. Board members are advised not to discuss subjects apart from those legally justifying today's executive session. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on or otherwise disclose any of the deliberations or anything said about these subjects during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. We will now adjourn the executive session and return to a public meeting. Thank you. Yeah.
Please unmute for us or perhaps unmute for.
We are now reconvening in a public session. And we need to amend our agenda to include, so is Kelda gonna, we want to make it so that she can sign that contract, right?
Yes. Yeah,
That, right?
yep, yep.
Okay.
So you would just need to amend the agenda to
right.
include
I will.
an action item.
Okay. I don't believe we need to move well.
Do we have to amend it to do 2 action items?
No, I think if anyone wants to make a motion coming out of executive session, that would happen.
That doesn't
and
have
then
to be on that.
correct.
All right, that's cool. Eventually I'll understand all this. Probably the day before I quit.
Nope.
Thank you, everyone. I'm seeing that now that we've gone back into a public session, I see that all the 5 board members are still here or online.
Yes. And, well, I would like to amend the agenda for an action item related to a contract that we need approved for another HR investigation. And we will have Kelda approve this contract for an investigation with, on an HR matter that's currently progressing.
Do we need to vote on adding? Okay. I move to add the vote pertaining to the investigation to the agenda.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
So we've added a second action
So
item.
we now have an action item. All right, so.
Mhm.
We have. I guess the first order of business would be to discuss. She needs to be.
Mhm.
You would like.
Yes, yeah. It is time to take the first action of the meeting. I hereby move that the board enter into a termination without cause agreement between the Jackson County Library District and Carrie May with addition of exhibits A and B.
Okay.
Thank you, Director Keating. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none. Yoli, would you please take a roll call? The vote.
Susan Kiefer,
Aye.
Kevin Keating.
Aye.
Marta Terenzi,
Aye.
Marissa Shepherd,
Yes.
Patty Jensen.
Aye. The motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Let's take care of this, the action item first, just to get that off the plate. I don't think it needs much discussion. This is a contract with an independent investigator that will investigation on an HR matter that is currently wending its way through the system. I don't know. Do we need any more detail than that
No, I don't
about
think
it?
so.
I don't think so.
Or you would want to include a dollar value to authorize her up to for entering into that agreement.
Well, it has to be not more than $10,000 because we have a limit of, I don't know.
So
I don't have any information about how much it's gonna be.
yeah, I think it would be fine to do 10. It shouldn't, the scope is much.
Not, all right. This would be to enter into a contract not to exceed $10,000. And hopefully it will be a great deal less than that.
I anticipate it will be, yes.
And overall authorizing Kelda that sign.
Yes.
I make a motion.
Well, or you want? Okay,
So
so
to discuss it.
Yeah.
I make a motion that the JCLD board authorize Kelda Bath to contract with an independent investigator identified for our HR matters investigation, not to exceed $10,000 at this time.
Second.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion?
I have an item I want to share. In order to save costs and still access qualified assistance for the investigation, there is a public resource of which JCLD is a member that we can access to help conduct interviews or other tasks the investigator may require. And I've shared that with the chairs, the Rogue Valley Council of Governments, and they would also be coming in as a neutral party.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion opposed. Motion carries unanimously. So I will report to Kelda that she can get going at that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline, very much for all your.
This is just for after, there's a
Oh,
Logistics for the chair.
my destructions.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. The last week, I think it was last week, I sent you a list, the beginning of a list of, yes, of things we need to do. I mean, there are a great number of things that we need to be sure that they don't fall through the cracks. And I started a list. I don't expect that it's exclusive. I imagine there are more things, but we have to do most of these.
I have volunteered to do number one,
Okay,
and then distribute to the rest of the board, for their review and comments
Right.
and edits.
all right.
That's the writing the statement. And then the second part of that is seek to attend an all hands meeting in
Can you please
February.
speak louder because the
Oh,
microphone.
I'm sorry. The second part of that was, do we wish to board members seek to attend an all hands meeting in February? I don't know, when is it? It's February now.
I'm fine with it.
Is there?
I don't, well, Kelda suggested that might be, I asked if we should send
Okay.
somebody to an all hands meeting to further explain in addition to the letter. It may be that we're better off just sending a statement to the staff and not, I don't know what the answer to that question is, but that was one of the questions that came up to me was, yes.
One of the things that I understood the February meeting to be including is the explanation of some other policies.
Well, and this is, the library staff has all hands meetings from time, on every other month or something like that, I believe. And my question to Kelda was, should we try to send somebody to an all hands meeting to talk with the staff? And I don't have an answer back on that yet. She was going to consider and ask the admin team. So we maybe don't even want to go there yet, other
just
than
some
to
things-
say, if we got invited, we would send somebody.
When you say we, you mean a
We, the board.
representative
Yes,
of the board, not
Yeah.
all five of us, okay?
well,
And
if you do all five of us, then it has to be noticed as a public meeting and all of that, so I don't think that would be very sensible.
Right, unless
Yeah,
we all
it would
agree
be nice if somebody could go.
Well, I'll pursue that with Kelda, but, at the moment.
Okay.
We absolutely need a statement to the staff about the action that we've taken.
Yes.
So, and Patty's volunteered to draft it and circulate.
Yep.
So,
So we're gonna table that second part about whether to seek to attend.
yeah, well, we don't have to table it, it's not a motion, but
Right.
yeah, we'll wait and see. All right. In addition, I think it would behoove us to get an interim director on board as soon as we can. As soon as we can. And before we do that, we need to think about what we want an interim director to do. And I think there's a variety of ways you can go on that. So maybe we should just talk about that for a while.
Well, the most important looming thing, I think, is the union negotiation.
Oh, I don't think that's anywhere near the most important thing yet, but I mean, we don't.
We need some leadership in order to do that, but I don't have a timeline. I've never got any kind of a timeline. I thought it was kind of looming, so do you know anything
Well,
about it?
I heard today, I think Kelder said she thought they were sort of slow walking this because of our circumstances.
Okay.
And I mean, we haven't yet found, I've talked to Buzzy Nielsen at the State Library a couple of times, and I asked him about union negotiations, and he suggested, he gave me the name of somebody on the Deschutes Library Board. They have been sending a board member to their negotiations. But that's, I guess, not necessarily typical.
Mhm.
But I have a contact on that board that we could talk to about that part of this.
I have a suggestion, is that if appropriate, that we do some kind of I'm not certain how we would run it, but I believe that we need to talk to the people who would be most directly reporting to an interim director and find out what their needs are right now. And because that's who's gonna be in most direct contact on a daily basis, and find out from them where are you needing help the most right now? Where are you needing direction right now? What can, so that could be somebody that just, maybe we get an old school suggestion box. I'm kidding, but and maybe our person who's in charge of communications might be able to help us determine how best, but just to get input.
Oh, I think we should get input from the administrative team.
That's exactly
Yes.
what I meant. Yes, ma'am.
So that's one thing.
Okay,
I
So
don't think
should
that's,
we do a committee is kind of what I'm hearing.
say what?
Should we
A
do
committee?
like a committee then?
Yes,
a committee to do what?
To appoint an interim director and maybe meet with staff, like you were saying, to judge needs or,
Did you say appoint an interim director?
No. Put a committee together to talk about all of this.
Well,
yeah. Or to come up with a list of suggestions and everything. But I'm just hearing that we need a committee is kind of what the direction it sounds like. But I think
we could have-
Marta,
I think we should have a committee to look for an interim director. I think the board should have a conversation about what we want in. I mean, we need to talk to the admin team about what they want from an interim director. But I think the board ought to have some things that it might want from an interim director.
Right.
Much of which might have to do with community engagement and the public view of what's been going on with the libraries, because I think we have a bit of work to do out there. But
I really suggest reaching out to Rogue Valley Council of Governments, their amazing HR assistants, because as a special district, we are a customer. I'm not saying they have a perfect template ready for us to go, but I really would like to start with a suggestion from them because their team is solid, unless Oregon
About
State
it-
Library has
about like a job description kind
a
of
job
thing.
description for an interim director, which of course we can augment and customize if we see that something is not met.
yeah, that sounds
Is-
good.
Is it appropriate to ask Josh or Kelder, any of them, to recommend to us how best to gather more information on what the administrative team's needs are?
We'll talk. I don't think talking to the admin team is gonna be difficult. We can,
I don't think it's difficult either, I'm just trying to put it on the check it off box.
well,
Okay,
we've been there. I
okay.
thought, anyway, yes, Kevin.
So I think, whoever said it was right, we need to kind of pull the staff and see what kind of urgent issues we've got going on first. Do that, and then look at, I mean, we know there are certain things that we need to cover. That is, finding a timeline, understanding what the union obligations are. Maybe managing the new, 5-year goals thing, and then someone that can manage staff appropriately that's done this type of work, whether or not we choose to go with somebody with library experience. Or whether we need something else.
Yeah, yeah, I mean,
Marissa, go ahead.
kind of the other piece, I mean, I feel like we really need someone to help guide this investigation, because that seems to be a big focus, right? We just approved all this money for this HR investigation. So I think that kind of needs to be the focus of the interim director.
Well, that investigation is ongoing. I mean, we have the person in place. She has begun a little bit. There's more to do. I've been her contact so far. If you want to change that, that's fine with me, but I don't
Yeah.
think we want anybody on our staff involved with this because the investigation
Right.
is dealing with staff people. So,
Yeah, which I agree that it'd be nice to have somebody outside. So I like Marta's RV cog suggestion.
but Marta's RB suggestion doesn't have anything to do with the investigation, as far as I can tell.
I think the interim director, they could be informed on progress milestones of the investigation and then of the outcome. At the same time, the board is the one that started it, and I really would like to keep the board chair as the point of contact for that investigation.
Sure.
Because we are the board who are responsible for the next transition in leadership post interim. The interim might have some input, but they're not responsible for taking that forward. So I'd like to keep the point for investigation to remain the chair.
Would you like that? No, you
I
shared
think
that.
that probably makes sense at this point.
Okay, good.
The interim director is also gonna be pushing for the process of hiring a new director as well. That's,
Not necessarily, but
They'll get on
perhaps.
some of the logistical support perhaps, but I see that as being our job.
Yes. I also see it as being our
well,
job.
clearly, yeah, I mean, we're gonna be deciding, but they would do some of the grunt work as far as whether they hire an HR search firm or other type of thing.
I sense that for some of these, like this one, that at our, maybe we have a work session in the next 2 weeks again, where we can talk about more of this in detail.
Mhm.
I'm trying to be conscious of people that maybe want to speak to them and conscious of people's time. I think number 4, joint meeting with the foundation board. I think that's something that we can all agree on, that unless you have other obligations, it's going to be February 23rd from 4 to 6 p.m. I believe here. Is that correct?
No, it's not. It's at the Criterion Theater. And
Never mind.
that's when the Shelby Van Pelt author talk is happening.
Mhm.
And they have, by the way, sold, well, they haven't sold, there are no tickets that have been sold, but we have reservations to fill the Criterion,
Okay, but
including the balcony.
there's a private reception between 4:30 and 5:30 before her, so we can't do both.
Well,
That logistics can be discussed outside of this. meeting.
Okay,
right.
We need to do
But
that.
there's supposed to be a joint or a reception for the district
Oh,
board
that's what
and the
this-
foundation board,
got it.
Which is-
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
which is the reception, or
There will be a reception.
there's a recept. Yeah. The Shelby Van Pelt, you're getting me confused here, but
And that
the-
wasn't easy
it is very easy today. But
at the
item
criteria.
number 4 on the do list is about a joint board meeting. Oh, it's actually, there's 2 joint board meetings on item number 4.
Clarify that.
So the first one is February 20th. A social gathering with a joint reception before the Shelby Van Pelt author talk at the Crate. That's February 20th. And we have been trying very hard to get the 2 boards together so that they like meet each other and know who we are and sort of have some more significant connection. So it would be really great if we could all show up for both Shelby Van Pelt and this reception
Yeah, it's 2
with the foundation board. And then there is also supposed to be a joint meeting with the foundation board that has been it was rescheduled from February 4th to the 23rd to talk about strategic planning. Now, it has been suggested to me that we shift this strategic planning effort from trying to do a 5-year strategic plan right now when we are looking at having an interim director for a period of time. One would expect that the next permanent director might want to have something to say about this strategic plan. So, I think I would recommend that we redirect the strategic planning committee, which I believe at this time is Marissa and Marta, to work on coming up with something like a roadmap for a prescribed period of time. Between the last two strategic plans, we had an 18-month roadmap because as we were coming out of COVID, we really weren't ready to do a full-blown strategic planning effort. So we did an 18-month roadmap that worked pretty well for us to drive our goals and objectives for, a short period. And so that's what I think we ought to do with the current strategic planning effort that, Josh has been working on it. We've done a bunch of community listening sessions, and he's done a few other things. I believe you've been pulling stuff together. And so does that sound like a sane approach to you, Josh?
Yes. I'm fine with moving it a year out.
Hmm?
I'm fine with moving it a year out, but you have your hand up.
Go ahead.
I'm supportive of this. We'll walk it back to the strategic planning committee. That said, all of the board members have a link for key community partner organizations to respond to, and I checked with Josh, and that survey link is still open. I recruited 5 volunteers just 2 weeks ago to help us with that, and I'm asking them to put their multi-community organization hats on. This is about organizations whose strategic plans may, see about great change here in the valley. So that link is still live. That work does not stop. So if you have access to that link, actually, I'll just send it out to everybody again. We're still polling our key partners and asking them to participate in the service to help inform it. Thanks.
But I would expect this strategic roadmap would be sort of goals that are more short-term in nature and sort of focused on the needs of what the organization has to consider during this transition period. So, and I don't, because this roadmap thing we might want to collapse the meetings so that, and have several meetings fairly close together to try to get something done for a roadmap that would be much shorter term time frame to produce the roadmap than we would spend for a full 5-year strategic plan. So when I've asked you, Marissa, if you thought you'd be able to attend meetings, more meetings in a relatively short period of time, that's what I was referring to when I asked you if you wanted not to work on the roadmap, but to be able to work on a strategic plan when we get back to that. And you can let me know how you feel about that. Hopefully.
Thumbs up.
All right. Thumbs up, mean you're staying on it. Yes, okay.
That she's up for it.
All right, that's good.
Another thumbs up.
Let's not forget the budget. So we've got a budget coming up, and that's gonna be something that
We
the
have-
director will have to
Yep.
put a top priority on.
Mhm.
So someone that's really good with numbers, that's managed big budgets, that's managed large staffs in different locations. These are the kind of things I think we should do.
And we do need to contact the 5 people from the general public that
You're
are,
talking about the budget committee?
yes, ma'am. That are not board members. 3 of them are from before and then the 2 new ones.
Yeah.
And Yoli, I'm sorry, I don't have their names or contact information. We can work on that.
We have a roster.
We have a roster.
We've filled the vacancies. We have a roster
Okay,
and we'll work with Heather Scott to make
Right.
sure the process does not get
okay,
lost.
And we have a budget calendar and we have a work session. We have 2 work sessions, I think. One that we were going to do with the board where we would invite them to join us if we wanted to, if they wanted to. And then a second one with the full budget committee where we go through the sort of the process and the bones and talk about where we're headed without doing anything specific about the budget, because we can't do that till we actually have a draft budget to consider. Kevin,
We should leave this meeting with a goal as to when we want to hire a new interim director. We can't just keep floating about without a director.
we can't what?
We can't just float,
No.
you know.
No, we
indefinitely
need to
without-
get
I know, but we
interim
need to take
director
that hard
as
decision.
soon as we can. And
March first,
March 1st.
sounds good to me.
A goal,
The latest.
right, that's the goal I would like to communicate to RV or those who will include in brainstorming. And then if something impacts it, okay, but there is no reason not to set it as March 1st.
sounds good.
it's a Sunday.
All right.
February 28th.
Sunday, Funday,
Just saying.
second then, thank you.
So are we gonna try and meet next week to talk in more detail about the process of hiring an interim director?
Sounds like it, honestly.
Yes, I would request that there is a virtual meeting.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right.
Perhaps calendars can be cited later. I really would like to make sure there's a public comment, which is on the
Right.
agenda, that we observe and honor today.
Yes, I agree.
Do we have someone who has signed up to speak? I don't think we have, actually. There's
Well, we haven't asked the folks online, we just haven't opened it up yet. Oh, there is no sign sheet, it's just the agenda.
well, we don't. Anyway,
I have it, Marta, but no one was on it.
Oh, did you? Thank you so much. I'll just confirm it, so it's not there, it will be said.
Yoli's on.
Okay, but we have to go to that agenda item, we have to say we'll open it and then ask folks as well.
what agenda? I don't understand what do you want people to comment on? I mean, we have,
Oral requests and communications from the audience has been noticed as part of this agenda.
I know. And then we discussed the fact before it got here that we don't generally do public comment this was originally scheduled as a work session and then it was board meeting. Anyway, if anybody is a virtual attendee who wants to comment to the board, we will give you 3 minutes to do so if you raise your hand. Seeing no hands,
Thank you.
we'll consider that taken care of. All right, so I intend to be one of the people looking for an interim director. Does anybody want to work with me as a committee? Should we,
Yeah.
Kevin? All right, if you want.
Marty, you want to?
Yes. I would like to be a logistics supportive person because we can't have quorum. This is definitely library business. So I would like to send you all the resources on my radar
That'd be great.
and provide warm introductions.
Sure. Sounds
We
good.
can do that. And I have a little bit to contribute to that, but not that I can report on today. You may have found Lisa. Anyway, so what else do we need to talk about today?
We got a goal, we got some idea of what we're looking for. and a director, a new director, interim director that is, and I think that, you know, we mentioned the meetings on the 20th and the 23rd. I think we have to say when we're going to get together again.
Yes.
Next week.
I'm free the 11th, I'm free every Wednesday. You guys are as well.
Bruce, what's your schedule like on Wednesdays?
Wednesday, the 11th.
Yeah.
I believe some of us were holding like a 4 to 5 just in case anyway.
But I just,
Sorry.
can you unmute so that?
She's just saying it's good.
Oh, all day? Do you have times?
Hold up the fingers.
Oh, in the afternoon would be the best for me.
All right,
So yeah, I do have a morning meeting on the 11th, but yeah, I can make anything afternoon work.
okay. Thank you.
I'd request a 3:30 to 4:30 or a 4 to 5. I have an event in the
Yeah.
Applegate.
I could work with either one of those. So.
And Kelda, raise your hand. Kelda, would you like to come forth?
Just to say that on the 11th, there's the strategic planning committee meeting that afternoon.
As a member of the committee, I'd like to focus on the interim director. Thank you for the reminder. If other folks are okay with that, I'd like to prioritize this over the strategic planning committee.
Okay, but we need the roadmap before too long.
Absolutely.
So Wednesday, February 11th. Yeah. At what time?
Let's do 3:30 to 4:30 if we can, unless it's too tight for you.
45 would be great.
Sure,
You need
And
to
it
let
makes a
those
difference.
kids out.
'Cause
it does, yeah, 3:45 to 4:45. Can we please do it virtually? Well, I mean, I can do it in person.
I can do either.
Okay. We'll always have the virtual option, and that will be a work session or a study session with no public comment.
Right.
Just to be clear, when we say we're having a virtual meeting, we'll be here physically so that we have the virtual set up anyway, right?
Yes, please, and we'll
We,
work with staff.
we're required by law to provide a virtual option.
But I know, I just want to make sure we have a physical option as well, Garen.
Yeah.
We always have.
Yeah.
that, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I am in town that day.
prefer to meet in person if possible. I think it's better interaction.
Yes.
So we'll notice a 3:45 to 4:45 special meeting for here. This room, if it's available. On Wednesday, the 11th. Okay,
If we were to talk about specific individuals on that date, would we have to go into an executive session?
you can't go into an executive session unless you notice it in
All right.
advance, but
This is advanced, so
I
that's why I'm
don't-
asking the question.
I don't think. I don't think we can, we can't do names of individuals in an executive session unless unless we're actually thinking about offering them the job. I mean, you can't just go into an executive session to talk about possible people
Then we talk about possible people at the 11th meeting then.
in public.
All
Yeah,
right.
Mhm.
Awesome.
all right. Anything else?
I don't think it has to be awkward if we do our homework.
You don't think it's
I don't think it will be awkward if we do our homework. Solicit resumes, solicit CVs, refer to them as candidate 1, candidate 2, not candidate, but prospective
Yes.
person 1, prospective person 2, prospective person 3, without revealing public details. We can do it well, we can do it confidentially. I have no
Okay.
concerns about that.
That's fine.
All right. Anything else do we need to do today? Hearing nothing. What?
I would like to thank all of the library staff and volunteers for continuing to support the system in this very dynamic time. Thank you all.
Yes.
And board members.
All right. We stand adjourned.